Q3 GDP, yes, it is somewhat backward-looking, but are you with consensus at 4.5% on the headline?
Yeah, that's 4.5% is also our forecast. I think that the key message is that the Q3 is still very weak. If we translate into the sequential quarter-over-quarter growth, we're looking at 3%. So that's still actually a pretty weak soft growth momentum. Of course, that's that happened before the latest round of policy easing. So, of course, for this year, the more important is what's the policy impact for the Q4 GDP growth? Is the government able to close the gap, actually, versus that 5% growth target? As you mentioned, that consensus forecast still looking for undershooting to the growth target.
Haibin, retail sales are going to be closely scrutinised, and we know that the stimulus programme is aimed at restoring confidence among the Chinese consumer. What is the retail sales number going to tell us about how stressed the Chinese consumer is, and at what point are we going to start to see stabilisation?
Yeah, so retail sale or consumption has been one of the weak links for the Chinese economy, only next to the housing market. If you look at the consumer confidence index released by the MBS, actually the consumer confidence has stayed very low, particularly because of weak income expectation and employment expectation. So I think that to support consumption, everybody's looking for the fiscal support. But looking at the recent policy announcement, I would say this is one of the disappointing area. The government actually, the policy measure focus more on the risk mitigation, right, to address the local government hidden debt problem, the housing market, and also the banking recapitalization, but much less on the consumption stimulus or the much bigger spending on the public service or social welfare. So this has been the disappointing area. But I think that one thing is important is that fiscal transfer or fiscal subsidy is only temporary. And also even say with the social safety network improvement, the impact tend to be the policy has a long delay. So more importantly, actually, you need to revive the confidence, particularly regarding the income growth. So I think for that, we argue that it's more important to for the government to redirect the policy support. More balanced support between services and consumption, because service still the number one the job creator for the Chinese economy. But many service sectors has been facing policy headwinds. So the policy redirection for a more friendly, transparent, and stable regulatory environment in service sector is very important. And the second area, we also argue that protection for workers' rights is more important. And we see actually the intensive competition in the industry market. Actually, the workers, they do not benefit. Even some industry are doing very well, but we don't see actually the significant wage growth in this area. So protection on workers' rights, that's another direction the government should